Well, that little blurb went by so fast I have time to say something else. I'm going to read just a couple of words that a few of you will find interesting about Obama's writing ability. Allow me to reconstruct how Obama transformed himself into what the New York Times has called that rare politician who can write, and write movingly and genuinely about himself. There is an element of speculation in this, but new evidence continues to narrow the gap between the speculative and the conclusive. One clue comes from an unexpected source, Rashid Khalidi. The radical Arab American friend of Obama's and reputed ally of the PLO. In the acknowledgement section of his 2004 book, Resurrecting Empire, Khalidi writes of heirs, A-Y-E-R-S, heirs. Bill was particularly generous in letting me use his family's dining room table to do some writing for the project. Khalidi did not need the table. He had one of his own. Khalidi needed help. Khalidi had spent several years at Chicago University's Center for International Studies. At a 2003 farewell dinner on the occasion of his departure from Chicago, Barack Obama, toasted him, thanking him and his wife for the many dinners that they had shared. Chicago's Hyde Park was home to a tight, influential, radical community at whose center was Ayers and Dorn. In this world, the Ayers terrorist rap sheet only heightened their reputation. Obama had to know. The couple had given up revolution in 1980 for the long, slow march. Remember those words, long, slow march through the institutions. By 1994, if not earlier, Ayers saw a way to quicken that march. I believe that after failing to finish his book on time and after forfeiting his advance from Simon & Schuster, Obama brought up a sprawling, messy, sophomoric manuscript to the famed dining room table of Bill Ayers and said, "Help." Obama needed all the help he could get. Prior to 1990, he had written very close to nothing. In 1991, Occidental College published two of Obama's poems, Pop and Underground. Obama calls it some very bad poetry. Underwater grottos, caverns filled with apes that eat figs, stepping on the figs that the apes eat, they crunch. The apes howl, bare their fangs, dance. I think that's excellent. I don't see why Obama is raining on his own parade. I wouldn't even attempt to write anything like that. Underwater grottos, caverns filled with apes that eat figs, stepping on the figs that the apes eat, they crunch. The apes howl, bare their fangs, dance. Once elected president of the Harvard Law Review, more of a popularity than a literary contest, Obama contributed not one signed word to the Harvard Law Review or any other law journal. In 1990, Obama contributed an essay to a book published at the University of Illinois in Springfield, an anthology called After Alinsky Community Organizing in Illinois. And guess what? I've already found it. Although the essay covers many of the issues raised in Dreams and uses some of the memoir's techniques, it does so without a hint of style, sophistication, or promise. The following two excerpts capture Obama's range, or lack thereof. Quote, "Moreover, such approaches can and have become thinly veiled excuses for cutting back on social programs which are the anathema of a conservative agenda." Second quote, "But organizing the black community faces enormous problems as well. and the urban landscape is littered with the skeletons of previous efforts." Unquote. These cliché-choked sentences go beyond the merely unpromising to the fully ungrammatical. Organizing does not face. Efforts do not have skeletons. Agendas do not have anathemas. Indeed, the essay is clunky, pedestrian, and wonkish, a B- paper in a freshman composition class. I'll read it again. Moreover, such approaches can and have become thinly veiled excuses for cutting back on social programs. I believe the noun is approaches, and the modifying phrase at the end, which are anathema to a conservative agenda, modifies the word approaches. Agendas do not have anathemas. Nor do efforts have skeletons, as we read in the following sentence, quote, "But organizing the black community faces enormous problems as well, and the urban landscape is littered with the skeletons of previous efforts." I didn't know that efforts could have skeletons. Yeah, sure. I like that. I disagree with the writer. I like Obama's poem, and I like that sentence. That's fine. You know, I like Obama's poem so well. I'm sincere now. I'm not kidding you. Underwater grottos, caverns filled with apes that eat figs, stepping on the figs that the apes eat, they crunch. The apes howl, bare their fangs, dance. I could never write anything like that. I could never imagine such a thing. I could see them howling and dancing with their fangs bared. I could see them stepping on the figs. I could see their feet stepping on the figs in an underground cavern. And the cavern was underwater. Man.